What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to O'Leary's Garden, where life is a garden. Today I'm gonna teach you how I made all of this beautiful booze. So to make mead, all you really need is honey, water, and yeast, and a container, and then a tube, and then another container. No, for real. Honey, water, and yeast. That's really all that you need. The yeast converts the sugar and honey into alcohol by doing little, potty stuff. The honey that I use is right here, Lakeshore pure natural honey. It's cheap stuff. I'm using it because I'm experimenting. I'm still trying out different recipes, seeing what I like, what I don't like, and it's not bad. This is $15 for 5 pounds. I have a subscription on Amazon. I get it delivered every 2 weeks because I make a lot right now. So I typically use between 3 and 4 pounds of honey per gallon. Depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling sweet or if I'm feeling like an asshole. Onto the water. You don't want chlorine in your water because it will kill your yeast. So if you are on city water or you put chlorine in your well, you're going to want to buy some of this. Okay? And if you're going to buy some of these, you can just use this container to ferment your mead in. And then you don't need one of these glass containers that I'm going to show you. That comes in a kit that I'm going to recommend to you. The one, because I bought 4 of them. Here, take a look at that. This is what you can expect to get in that kit that I'm recommending to you. In it, you will get a glass 1 gallon fermenter. You can always go the plastic route if you don't want to do this. But I just prefer the glass because I'm a fancy kind of fella. Along with that, you will get an airlock and a bung. Now this just sticks right in here like this. The airlock gets filled with water to the fill line right here, and you have this little cap right here that sits on top of this hole. So the water sits on the outside, and this hole goes straight through to your fermenter. This cap will sit on top so that the water fills up here, and as CO2 builds up, it'll lift this cap up enough to where it can escape through these holes on the side, but it won't allow oxygen to get into your fermentation and ruin it. So you stick this in the bung like that, fill it with water, and you set it right on top of your fermenter like this. And that's that. You will also get a packet of yeast nutrient, which kind of helps your yeast take off and have a really, strong and healthy fermentation. Gives it something else to eat besides sugar. This right here in this jar is the contents of 4 of the packets you'll get with one of these kits. And I've made 7 or 8 gallons off of this so far, and there's still quite a bit left here. I think that one of those packets would get you 5 or 6 gallons, no problem. And then you will get 1 packet of yeast. It will be, from my experience of the 4 that I have bought, it'll be one of these 3 here. Most of them came with this. I bought 4. I bought 4 of these kits so far, and that's been more than enough for me to keep a rotation going. Have a, there's approximately 4 months. Yeah, 4 months in a week. 4 weeks in a month. So in order to rotate and have a gallon ready to go every week, I got 4 of these kits, so I can make a gallon every week, and every week one of these is getting emptied and bottled. In addition to that, you're going to want some of this. Just plastic hose. Okay? Can you see it? See it? And this is just so you can siphon between containers without aerating your already fermented, delicious beverage. One more thing. Whether you want to get it or not, It's up to you. You can just sanitize by running your hot water. I do like to do it just in case. Is right here, Star Sand. I don't know if you can get this on Amazon or not. If you can, I'll put a link down there. I'll have to look first. But you pretty much any home brew store has this. They all have this because that's what they all use. And I don't think it's that expensive. This says it was $12. Then you just dilute it. You just dilute it. Can't see it. There's lines here. You squeeze it. Can you see that part? Yeah, so you squeeze it and it'll fill up that top. Alright, and that's way too much. You dump it in a spray bottle like this, fill it the rest of the way up with water, and good to go. I want to put another mention out there here quick that I am not some professional artisan mead maker. I just like making shit. Okay, so I don't know, it's fun, and I'm a prepper, so I like to stock stuff in my cabinets. You seen my stash. And I just think it's always better if you made it yourself. That's why all of our canned stuff, you know, is homemade stuff. We even try out making homemade baked beans, try making homemade soups and whatnot to can up and rotate through and practice and get better at it. So then if my mouse poop hits the fan, then you already know how to do it because you've been practicing and you've been doing it anyway. So with that being said, you can make mead out of anything you want, really. I got some habaneros. I was actually thinking about making some habanero mead on the way home, but I think it would be terrible. But I've made a batch out of, I did this with hops. I got this on Amazon. I'll send you a link. Hops and barley. Where's the barley? Ah! Here. Here's the barley. It's a lot. How much? Oh, it's 5 pounds. It's 5 pounds. They ain't the same. A couple of weeks ago, I cut up a whole watermelon and threw it in one of those jugs with some honey and water, and we're gonna rack that today so I can show you how to do that part. I've made it out of apple juice, made it out of grape juice. You can make it out of frozen fruit. Just, you know, a bag you buy from the grocery store, you can throw that in a jug with some honey and water and yeast. You got a beverage. All right, so step number 1, heat yourself up some water. Heat yourself up some water. I don't know if you could hear me because I was facing that way. Heat yourself up some water any way you can. Michael Jordan heats it up in a coffee pot. Jack Spirko heats it up with like a tea maker, the electric tea kettle type thing. I use a pot and pan just because I fucking overcomplicate everything. Speaking of Jack Spirko, today I finally get to try the 3-flower blend. Jack Spirko's famous patented 3 flowers blend. I've been so excited to try this. And it's finally here. And that includes from Mountain Rose Herbs, organic and fresh and fancy, chamomile, elder, and heather. So Jack uses a 1/4 cup of each of those flowers per 1 gallon of mead, plus both of these packets right here. And so I can try Jack's mead. I'm going to use both in this case because he said so. And that's Jack's mead, and I'm going to try it. So while the water is heating up, we'll go ahead and sanitize our jug, which involves nothing more than taking your star sand. If you're using star sand, if you're not, just do this with hot water. So you take this, 1, 2, 3, or 6 or 12, whatever makes you happy, because that's what this is about. This is about you being happy. You fill her up with a little bit of water, warm water preferably, just like that. That's plenty. Put your little cap on her. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention that in that kit that I just recommended to you. Comes with a lid. Believe that shit? So, shake her up. See that? See how I'm doing that? See how I'm shaking it? Ready? Take the lid off. Boom. You don't even have to rinse it because that stuff is designed to not kill your yeast. It's just some kind of acid. Dodecyl-benzenesulfonic acid. Alright, so now we're going to add some honey to the jug. So I'm going to take this container right here. I'm going to get the full weight of it, which is 33 ounces. Alright, now I'm going to dump my honey in here. Okay, you can warm this up whatever way. Some people set it in that pot to let it get warmer. You just go like that. Okay, now you take some of this warm water out of the sink, if you're allowed to use the sink. That's important stuff. Get you some warm water in there, give her a shake. And there goes the rest of that honey. I'm putting 3.5 pounds of honey in this batch. I had 18 ounces come out of the first jug, which is 1 pound and 2 ounces. Okay, so 5 pounds of honey, 5 times 16 ounces is 80 ounces. The weight of the jug was 5 ounces, so I have 85 ounces total on that jug, right? 3.5 pounds, 3.5 times 16 is 56. Minus the 18 is 38, right? Minus, so 56 is the 3.5 pounds. That's the total amount I want in here. Minus 16 ounces, or 18 ounces that I had in here is 38. All right, so of the 85 ounces, I want to take 38 out of them. And 85 minus 38 is 47. So I'm going to keep taking honey out of this jug until the thing says 47. 57. And nobody's going to die if you have a little too much or not enough. $48.1. Bloop. I'm going to call it good. Now we got our honey in the jug. So we're going to take a funnel. You see how syrupy that is on the bottom? Now we're going to take a funnel and we're going to start to add some of the hot water. I recommend filling it about halfway. It makes it easier to shake because you want to incorporate all that honey into your water. See how that's caked out, how it's separated? You want to get that in there. Get all that honey dissolved in the water. She's a little sticky. Got some of it still sticking on the bottom. Got it right in there. And this is a dual purpose thing here because it's also oxygenating your must, which is your unfermented mead mixture. Wine, what is mine? I think wine's a must too, right? Liquor's a mash. Beer is a wort. Yeah, so this is honey wine, technically, so it's a must. Okay, we're gonna add some more water. And you don't want this to be too hot. You're 98.6 degrees. So if you're holding your hands on, if you can barely hold your hands on here, she's too hot. Okay, because you want to be like, was it between 90 and 110, something like that. Something like that. So if it's too hot, add some cooler water. Okay, now it's time to add Spirko's flour. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup. Man, this is going to be a bitch to get in there. Especially if this is wet. Never mind, it's fine. 1/4 cup of each. This is I'm not going to, this is not my mead. This is Jack Spirko's mead. I just really had to try it. Heather chamomile. And elderflowers. Go, 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 go. Okay. Now we're going to shake it up again. Get those all incorporated in there real good. Next, we need a teaspoon. Okay, you're going to take a little teaspoon, really about half, about that much right there. That's it. Bloop. Dump that right in there. That's just going to feed your yeast. Now we shake it again. Alright, now we're going to add the yeast. Now, like I said, I normally would use half of one of these packets, but I'm trying somebody else's mead today. So we're going to use all of both. These things, these yeasts are both very nice all by themselves, so either one of them, I highly recommend it. Good way to go. Cut them open, dump them in there. Just a little jiggle, gentle. You don't want to get too much stuck on top. Fill this with water right up to the fill line, just like that. Okay. Pop the lid back on her. If you're doing this, hit the outside, give her a little shake. Now you wait. Okay, now, like I said, I'm going to show you how to rack it. Okay, so with that one that we just, the one we just made, We'll pretend that it's been 2-3 weeks and the bubbles have stopped, so it looks like it's done fermenting, because she's going to go crazy in like 24-48 hours. She's going to start bubbling up a storm. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take that hose, and this is probably 4.5-5 foot long. You don't want to go too long, but too short's a pain in the butt too. So you want to go ahead and sanitize this. Take this, pop a couple squirts down in there. Then just run some water through it. Okay, just make sure you don't have any kind of buildup inside there. Take your sanitized jug, set that right down in the sink. I like to take a bucket here and set my batch to be racked right up on top of it like this. Okay? And then pop this off. Take you a little bit of water. Put your little water inside here. You don't want this to be warm. Don't want warm water. Put your thumb on this end. Right? Take this end and stick it up in here. Now, let me show you this quick too. As you can see down there at the bottom, there's sediment. And that's dead yeast and fruit and flowers and whatever else you had fermenting in there. You don't want that. So while you're racking this off of here, the main thing is getting it off all of that junk so you don't have that in your finished product. Alright? So you got water in your tube, you got your thumb on this end. Now you're going to set this in the top. Right? You don't want to go too far. You don't want to stick it way down the bottom where all that junk is. Okay? But now the water, when you put this in the jug and take your thumb off, that water flowing out of this hose is going to create a vacuum and start a siphon. Let me make it so you can see better. You still can't, can you? There we go. There we go. Alright. Now, you want to get as little oxygen here as possible. Alright, watch. Come on. Make sure you put plenty of water in it. Just don't want to start from it. There we go. Jeez. Usually not that difficult. I apologize for that poor demonstration. Okay, so now your siphon is carrying it all over into this second container. I like to kind of pinch it here to slow it down so that I can tilt it and control the amount of sediment that I get, so I can stay up on the top. I don't know if you can see that. I can stay up on the top of the level in the main fermenter and not get way down in all the sediment that's at the bottom. And then I can tilt it like this and stay up top and stay out of the sediment still. That's about it. Okay, so there's that. Alright, now we've racked it. You're always going to have some goop left over. You don't want that in here. Take your airlock, sanitize it again. Alright, now you're going to set this back up on the shelf and let it sit until it's clear. Now, so you've gotten most of the sediment out of it, and you're going to let it sit till all the rest settles to the bottom. And when it starts to do this, you actually kind of see a line in it as it starts to fall. Then when you put your hand back there and you can see it and it's nice and clear, it's ready to drink. Now most mead makers, the artisan type, you know, the real fancy stuff, are going to tell you you should bottle it and let it sit for 6 months to 2 years. I don't do that. You're more than welcome to do that, and by all means, but that's not why I make it. I don't make it for that. I make it to drink it. You know what I mean? And it's just like this is good enough for me, because I'm good. Now the bottling process is the same thing as what you just saw here. So you'll set your jug up top here, you get your siphon going, alright, and then you'll pinch it just like you do a hose to stop it in between bottles. You put it in the bottom of the bottle, open up, fill it up, pinch it, move to the next one, open, fill, pinch, move, open, fill, pinch, move. That's the whole thing. It's also good practice to go ahead and sanitize it as soon as you get done as well, so you don't get any of that yeasties or fruit sugars that are left or anything like that sitting in your hose, because it will mold and it will be really hard to clean. Alright folks, with that we're going to go ahead and wrap her up. Just get out there and give it a shot. You know, anything you think might sound good to throw in that jug, throw it in there and see how she tastes. You're only wasting a gallon if it's not good. But as long as it's drinkable and she makes you feel a little funny, you're on the right track. So have at her. Now, before you go, please like and subscribe. Remember, the links to everything I showed you today are down here in the description thing. And as always, please don't forget to do your Amazon shopping at www.o'learylink.com. Thanks so much for watching.